Alright, so about 2 weeks ago, I uploaded a video going over some of the cons or downsides of living in a micro suite. So I thought it'd be only fair to tell you guys some of the pros or some of the reasons why you should downsize. But before we get started, I want to give a massive shout out to today's sponsor, Owala. Now, you're probably wondering, Joe, what makes the Owala water bottle so special? Well, let me tell you, the stainless steel versions have a triple layer of insulation. This lid is freaking 100% absolutely leak proof. Plus, the mechanism to enjoy your nice ice cold beverage is a freaking flip top. By far the best part of the free sip lid is that you can either sip or you can chug. Get the best of both worlds. It's got 2 holes, so use whatever floats your boat. And previously, I was never really a big fan of the water bottles with the built-in straws because you couldn't remove the straw. But as you guys can see, you guys can just remove it and just give her a good clean with your metal straw cleaners, and then you're good to go. And there's just something about sipping your water that just makes it taste a little bit more expensive, you know? Big shout out to Owala for sponsoring this video. Speaking of hydration, I'm gonna head to the gym. Probably gonna do like a push-pull split, throw in some like bro accessory lifts, and take it from there. All right, Jasper, I gotta go to the gym. Can you pound it? Jasper, can you pound it, please? Jasper, come on. Oh, this hand. Okay, thank you. Get it, let's go. Hi, buddy. Hi, hello. Can you take this up? Just, no? Okay. Alright, so I've been getting more and more questions regarding what type of hat I'm wearing, and all I'm gonna say is that you're just gonna have to wait until the Be Less Shitty merch drops. For those of you guys who haven't seen my full-on apartment tour yet, let me give you guys a preview of how small my space actually is. So over in the hallway, we got the little kitchen, washroom in the corner over there. We got the living space over here. We got a little divider here. We got the bedroom. Over here, we got the dining / working area. Over here, open space with a dog. And over here, mirror, and also hiding behind this plant because I'm not wearing any pants because it's so freaking hot. All right, so one of the best things about micro living or small space living definitely has to be the reduced cleaning. There's literally less square footage for you to maintain, upkeep, and just keep tidy, especially if you have a massive dog like myself that sheds. I actually made a dedicated cleaning routine video, so I highly recommend checking that out. But honestly, as long as you get into the good habit of putting shit away after you're done using it, you shouldn't really have to like dedicate a day to clean your mess. I remember previously my space used to get so messy to the point where, you know, it wasn't a livable space anymore, and only then would I block like half the day to actually clean up the mess. And I remember always hating doing that, A, not only because I hate cleaning, but B, as your clutter and mess starts like piling up and as you are living in that immediate environment, I don't know, it was definitely taking a toll on my mental health and sanity. Just living in a constantly cluttered and messy space, personally for me, wasn't the most productive. For myself, having a place that is always tidy and clean just really helps with my motivation. I'm not saying that my place is never dirty or, you know, there isn't mess from time to time, because I am still human. There are still days where there are dishes in the sink. However, because my, you know, sink is literally the size of, I don't know, a small chihuahua, I can't let dishes pile up, or I literally cannot eat because I only have 2 bowls and 2 plates. So the limited square footage of the actual apartment really forces you to be clean, because like I mentioned in the other video, if there's a mess in the living room, there's also a mess in the bedroom and the dining room and the kitchen. It's just everywhere. So yeah, personally for myself, one of my favorite things about micro living is definitely the reduced cleaning. And to continue on from that reduced cleaning point, you definitely become a lot more organized. If you guys saw my everything that I own in my studio apartment video, there wasn't one thing that I didn't know where it was before that video. That just made absolutely no sense. Basically, all I'm trying to say is that I know where everything is in my apartment at all times. I know that as soon as I walk in, this is where I keep my phone, keys, and wallet, so I'm good to go. I know that under my bed is the one place that I have my miscellaneous like junk drawer. It's honestly so nice just to know where everything is. Like even just the little things like crazy glue, duct tape, the little like felt pads for underneath the furniture, or like extra AAA batteries. I know where exactly everything is. So yeah, that's definitely one of the perks of living in a small space, is that there's not a lot of space where you can misplace things. And like I mentioned in the previous tip, if you get really good at placing things back after you're done using it, you're never gonna lose anything. So would highly recommend, just less places to lose shit in. Another obvious benefit of living in a small space is definitely the reduced cost. On average, a 1-bedroom is going to cost more than a studio apartment. Now, I'm not saying that's always the case. It definitely depends on your location. For example, the average studio apartment in Vancouver is around $1,700, whereas the average 1-bedroom apartment in Edmonton is around $1,400. So it really depends where you live. And not only does it depend which city you live in, but even within the city itself and within different buildings and what floor you live on. On most high rises, the units that are higher up are going to be more expensive than the units on the bottom levels. And yeah, obviously it's a lot cheaper to get a 2-bedroom apartment for like $2,400 and then get a roommate and then just split the cost. That's going to be a lot more affordable. However, if you are living on your own without any roommates, a studio in most cases is going to be cheaper than a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, etc. So yeah, keep that in mind. And finally, one of the best reasons to consider micro-living, in my opinion, is that it really forces you to be intentional, not only with your money, but with just the things in your life, because you only have a finite amount of space to work with. It's not like you have an endless amount of rooms and like living spaces and dining rooms, etc., to put little knickknacks. A lot of people, they get stuff for the sake of filling a space, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it really just questions what you really want. Not even what you really need, because everyone knows that you don't need a lot of things, but do you really want that geometric pineapple or that golden elephant? Or is it just more so a space filler? And there are so many things that, act as space fillers in our lives that, it just makes you question things. Do you really want it? Or do you just not want the emptiness? Deep thoughts. I know I mentioned this before any minimalism related video, but minimalism for myself is not about the aesthetic or having a low number of things. It's about being intentional with my resources and my time, and having a small micro space really forces you to do that. I'm not saying you have to have a small space to be a minimalist. Obviously, you can live in a 3-bedroom apartment and still consider yourself a minimalist, but when you only have a small amount of space to work with, you definitely have to be creative and even more hyper vigilant with what you bring into your life. So yeah, guys, those are some of the reasons why you should live in a micro space. If you guys haven't checked out my previous video, or some of the reasons why you shouldn't live in a micro space, definitely check that out. But yeah, for me, I think the reduced cleaning, the increased organization, the reduced cost, and the increase in intentionality really are the main reasons why I choose to live in a micro suite in my current stage in life. I obviously can't say whether I'm gonna live in a studio forever, but for where I am at currently in my life, it works perfectly for me. So hopefully, this video helps some of you guys out. If it did, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and remember to be less shitty. Thanks, guys.